Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. And thank you very much for joining myself. I'm Jonathan Hand, and I'm from Ideate. And today we're here to look at hide and seek with Ideate XRay. Just a very few quick slides from myself, and then I'm going to introduce our guest speaker, Richard from Ideate, who's going to go through all the cool and awesome technical stuff. So just very, very briefly, a little bit about our brand being here at Ideate, and we're all about partnerships that stand the test of time. And this is why we have Ideate here on the webinar with us today, that they're one of our partners in our business. And this is sort of a key ethos in what we do. We partnership with some brilliant brands, and this is how we've come here today to show you some amazing technology. So for those of you not aware, that the Ideate company was bought over by the Symmetry Adnode Group earlier this year, and together we will achieve more. And by merging these companies and brands together, we've got 10,000 customers, over 150,000 users, and we share values, and we've got complementary skills and technologies. And a little bit about what Ideate is and what we are really all about is technology solutions. And we provide solutions into the employers, designers, contractors, right through to facilities management. And encompassed with all them technology solutions is we deliver training, software, consulting, document management, and project delivery. So that's just a little bit about what Ideate are and what we do and what we deliver. Now I'd like to hand over to Richard.
Welcome everyone to Hide and Seek with Ideate XRay. My name is Richard Taylor, a technical evangelist here at Ideate Software. Ideate Software creates a number of different solutions on both Revit as well as just recently Autodesk BIM 360. But we're really focused mostly on Revit solutions. And today we're going to be talking about Ideate apps, and we're going to be specifically focusing on one tool within the Ideate apps collection. Ideate Software is all about simplifying your Revit data challenges, and we create a number of solutions that are focused on increasing Revit productivity and efficiency for all Revit users. So our applications are really sort of agnostic to the discipline. It doesn't matter if you're structural engineering, architecture, mechanical engineering, construction. These applications are going to help you out if you're working with Revit. And Ideate Software is really known for our outstanding support. We have both in-product help. So you'll see, like within the product itself, today we'll be looking at Ideate XRay. There is quick starts, getting started guides, information that is in the help system, but we also have online help that you can Google very easily. You can search all of the applications for the help on our website, which is very nice to be able to review that information. We are supporting the last 4 releases of Revit. So that's Revit 2018 through Revit 2021. So everything you see today is available on those last 4 releases. That's the latest and greatest. Now we do have versions that are go back further, but again, the latest updates are on the last 4 releases. And we have customers all over the world, and we do comprehensive testing on very large projects. So again, we're really well known for our support and our quality testing when it comes to large projects. Certainly working with BIM 360 now in our new environment, a lot of us are doing that, working remotely. And so we're making sure that all of that works very well and seamlessly with our applications. So as I mentioned just a few minutes ago, Ideate Apps is a collection of 9 productivity and efficiency tools. So when you install the one product called Ideate Apps, you actually get this collection of 9 tools. We have a renumbering tool, we have a spell check tool, that we have a number of sheet and view tools. But today we're going to be focusing on the tool called Ideate XRay. XRay helps you understand why an element in a specific Revit view doesn't display. So, why did we develop this and who's it for? Well, like I said, it's for everyone. And we developed it because we found that there are over 50 different ways to hide an element within Revit. And it can be very maddening and confusing to understand why something doesn't display. So I'm sure, I'm going to show you this in a second. You've gotten this warning that says you placed something, but none of the elements are visible. And so you're saying, okay, why? And sometimes the mode called reveal hidden elements does work and help, but it only will work with something that's been hidden by category, or you right click and say hide element. So there's only those two conditions, basically. Everything else, you'll need a tool like Ideate XRay. So as I said, things can be like on work sets that can control visibility. View depth is another one that sort of is perplexing to a lot of users. Why something doesn't display because it's outside of the primary range, or your view depth is set incorrectly. So we're going to be talking about that. And here are sort of I would call maybe some of the major issues with some of the visibility issues that we're going to be covering today, or most of these anyway, if we have time to go through them. So you'll see that, again, these are things that are not just the category, but then, view templates, view range, discipline, model and annotation crops, and so forth. And like I said, we've actually uncovered over 50 different conditions that Ideate XRay will review for you. So let's first start with Revit itself, right? So the tools within Revit. If something's not displaying, well, you can turn on wireframe visual style. That may help you if an object is obscured, it's behind something. There's that reset temporary hide isolate mode. Maybe you would actually, have that mode on and you'd forgotten about it. So you can reset that. Again, I mentioned the reveal hidden elements, but it's only the category and object. So it's just those two things. Also, sometimes by setting the detail level from a coarse to a fine, you can see more information. But if you go through those issues, or I should say those steps within Revit, and you still don't understand why something's displaying, well, that's where Ideate XRay to the rescue, because it's going to help you with so much more of those visibility issues. So I think I've talked long enough. Let's just take a look at this. I'm going to switch over here to Revit. And today I'm using Revit 2021, the latest version of Revit. But like I said, we support the last 4 releases. If you install any one of the Ideate software applications, you'll have an Ideate software ribbon panel. And here you'll see the other products I mentioned, BIMlink, Explorer, Sticky, and Style Manager. And then the light orange and light blue are all the Ideate apps collection. So when you install Ideate apps, you get these 9 tools, okay? So first off, let's create kind of a condition or a problem here, right? So let's say that I need to place some chairs in this multi-purpose space. So we're going to come over here to, let's just say chair stacking. And I'll go ahead and place that. And here's where I showed you that you get that warning. Okay, I placed that chair, but none of the elements are visible, okay? So I'm going to start out with something kind of simple here, and then we'll get more complex as we go along here. So Ideate XRay has this great wizard, because how do you select things if they're not visible, right? So when you first call up Ideate XRay, it basically brings up this wizard and it says, hey, what are you looking for? A 3D element, a 2D element, like an annotative element, like a dimension or maybe a tag. You can pick from a grid level or view reference, or you can use one of our selection tools like Ideate Quick Select. But for right now, that chair is a 3D object. So I'm going to search the small area in the view. It allows me to build a little crossing window, and it shows me all elements that are both visible and invisible within that crossing window. And so you'll see there's that chair stacking. So I can select on that, say next. The view, if I start Ideate XRay in the view, then that's the default view. In fact, it's the only one I have open, but you'll see here in a moment, I'll have multiple views here that I can select from. So basically, I just sort of set up the criteria, right? I'm looking for this chair. I'm looking for it in this view, and I say, find the element. Why isn't it displaying? So it goes through its checks, and it comes up and it says, oh, it's the category. And so very quickly, I can say, oh, the category. All right, I'm going to go turn on the category. Ooh, why is everything grayed out here? Well, maybe I better read, right? So I go through here and it says, okay, it's the category, but the category is being driven by a template, and it's even saying the template name, Ideate Plan, which controls the visibility graphics. So I realize, oh, okay, that is incorrect. So that template, Ideate Plan, we're going to switch it over here to Architectural Plan. That should be the correct one. And when I do that, after this display updates, you'll see that there are the chairs, and then I'm sure that stacking chair was somewhere probably on top of one of these tables that I selected, right? So now I can see all that information very easily. So I'm like, okay, that's good. So let's go on to another sort of condition here. So I'm going to switch over here. I've got all of the problems, if you want to call it that, here. So in this case, why is this low wall not visible in this view? Okay, so I want to find that. So I'm going to say try again, and I'm going to set up a different condition. So I'm going to say, select by crossing again. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do the wizard again, and I'll say select a small area. And we'll say somewhere in here, right, is the wall, basic wall interior. We're going to select on that and say next. And then here is where I said you want to switch the view. So right now it's called view range for wall. So I want to make sure that you're looking in the right view. So it's this basic wall, you're looking in this view, and say find the element. Oop, and I realized I got the wrong wall there. You can actually see it says, hey, I can't figure that out. So I'm going to try again. And you know what? Let's go ahead and select by crossing here. You know what? I'm going to do this so I don't get that other wall. And let's say, come over here and select basic wall. There it is. And make sure that it's in that view and say find element. So, hey, there we go. So you can see that obviously the first time I did it, it selected this wall, which it highlighted because of course it said I can't figure it out because it actually was visible. This one is saying, hey, there's a view range. And we supply a wealth of information when it comes to our help. So when I say more info, if let's say you're not familiar with view range, it's going to come up into our help system here and basically give you a nice graphics of what it means to be the view range in a plan view and a ceiling plan view. How would you interact with it? Where should you select it? And so it's nice that you've got this more info box. I'm going to show you in a minute. There's also this show me and fix. If it's an easy fix, like turning off a crop region, that fix will be available. But in this case, with the view range, it's something that's a dialogue that you have to interact with. I mean, there's multiple items, right? So when I go to the floor plan here, and we'll go down to the view range here and select, notice that I have, there's 4 boxes that I can sort of interact and select different items. So it wouldn't know if I just fix it, like which one is it fixing? Is it fixing the offset? Is it fixing, this view depth offset and so forth? So this way, it allows me to interact with it. I say, okay. And now I see that wall and say, okay, that's great. So that was a great way for me to fix that. So let's look at this one here. And we'll go to a different view here. And why is this marker? Actually, it says it's wall section 19. It's not displaying. So let's go back here and say try again. And we're going to do my selection wizard. And this time I'm going to show you a different item. Because it's a marker, right? It's a view, a reference. So we're going to pick from a list here. I'm going to say next. And all the active ones, I can actually now just search. And I said I'm looking for section 19. And there we are. And say, okay, great. Next. And again, I want to make sure that I'm in the right view. So I'm going to switch the view here and then say find the element. Why isn't that section 19 marker displaying? Well, and it tells me that it's because of a discipline mismatch. So it's saying that the element is actually set to electrical, but the view is set to architectural. So again, there's 2 items here. It's not an easy fix because I could switch the view properties or I could switch the properties on the element. So in this case, it's just easy to select the view here and come down to the architectural discipline, and I'm going to switch that to electrical. So now they're going to be matching. So when I do that, sure enough, they're the marker displays. Okay. And by the way, you probably have noticed that I'm working in Revit interactively, meaning that I don't have to close the dialog. I can do any command in Revit that I want. So it's really nice. We call this non-modal. So you could even have X-ray on your second screen. You can work in any particular command. It's very similar to our Ideate Explorer if you're familiar with that. It works the same way, and as well as our Sheet Manager and many of our other tools. So now let's look at this one. Maybe I'm looking for, again, this a wall here called garage. All right. So we're going to say try again. I'll go back to my selection wizard and we'll search for a small area here. That's good. We'll just say next. And again, select by crossing and somewhere in here. And here's where you can also categorize these things, or I should say search. If I click on category, it's going to organize them based on alphabetical. There's doors, floors, there's walls. And again, remember the wall we're looking for is the garage or garage wall. And so I'm going to select here and make sure that that's the one that I want and say next. And then we're going to select, make sure the view is correct and find the element. Why isn't it displaying? So it comes through and it says, hey, it's a crop region. And here is where, again, more info. Well, what is a crop region? What does it mean? So it's saying, that there's a model crop that allows you to understand, or the section box about the particular view. Now, in this case, notice that the fix button is active because basically fix just means turn the crop off. So in this case, I can select fix. And then once that model crop is off, then the garage wall will display correctly. Now, the other item there I could have done is just modify the crop region, right? But in this case, the easy fix was just to turn it off so you could display it. Very similar is, let's go to this view, and why doesn't the dimensions display in this view, right? So very similar. I'm going to say try again. And let's go to my selection wizard again. And this time, I showed you different methods. We've been looking for 3D elements. I told you we looked for the list. This time it's a 2D annotative element because a dimension is an annotative element. So we're going to search a small area again, and it's going to only pick up the 2D annotative elements. So there's dimensions right there. Next, make sure the view is set correctly and say find element. And it will say, oh, it's the annotative crop, which is the crop that is basically can be set beyond the model crop for annotative elements, right? To not display. So again, fix will just turn off that annotative element, or I'm sorry, the annotative crop. And so now that dimension displays correctly. So again, nice way to understand that. So let's go. This is another nice one I really like. Is this actually is going to show you multiple items here, but so why aren't these plumbing fixtures visible? So by now you should know that I can go say try again. I can go to my selection wizard, and the toilet is a 3D element. So I'm going to search a small area in the view. Let's say search here. And again, this is a nice way where I can actually click on category, I can click on family type or name and sort the information based on that. So if I say, well, category, I know it's a plumbing fixture, right? And there's a couple different things here. I want to make sure there is my my toilet. So let's see, commercial wall. That's what I want. Oh yeah, because one is the, oh actually that's not what I want. I don't want the seat. I actually want the plumbing fixture itself, the deluxe toilet. So say next. Now we're going to look at our view. Okay, so I've set that I want to look at the plumbing fixture in this view, find the element. Goes through its checks. Whoa, what happened here? Well, not only is it hidden by one method, not just two methods, it's actually hidden by 3 methods. And so we're going to go tell you each one of those. So in this particular case, it's hidden by element, meaning that someone did a right click, hide in view. So I'm going to say fix, turn that off. Hidden by category, right? So in the view visibility settings, and it's not being driven by a template. In fact, the show me, look, I can go over here and say, oh, let's go down to plumbing fixtures. That would be P. Let's turn plumbing fixtures on. Say, okay. Still not displaying because there's one last thing, work set not open. So if I say show me, that button's always nice. It brings you the dialog that will interact with Revit to allow you to fix it. And you'll notice that plumbing fixtures here is in a closed work set. So now I can open that work set, say okay, and sure enough, there's my toilet. So I actually had to go through three different situations here to get that to display correctly. But Ideate XRay is going to be able to show you that, which is really nice. So I like that this is kind of a little bit more complex issue here. Okay, let's look at this one was also nice, this grid and level extents. And I'll show you how we can use Ideate Quick Select. So in this case, this grid 5 is missing. So if I bring up another tool within our Ideate apps collection, and that's called Ideate Quick Select. Quick Select allows you to basically select any particular object either in the view or in the project. Well, in the view, grid 5 is not going to be here because it's not displaying. But I can look at the entire project, right? And then I can say, well, let's go to grids, come down here, and let's look at grid number 5. And we're going to go over here, and there's grid number 5. So I can select it right here. And in fact, I can double click and see that it actually is, in a different view because it's saying there's no open view because right now, it's not displaying in this view. And so I can see that in an elevation view, this north elevation view, it actually is there. It's grid 5. But I'm not quite sure why it's not displaying in this plan view, and it seems like it should be. So let's go over here again, make sure that that's still selected, and go over to X-ray. And so it's already sort of pre-selected for me because I selected it within Ideate Quick Select, or I could actually do this selection wizard with Quick Select, but I've already selected it, so it's fine. And we're going to say, let's go here to the view, and then we're right there in 09. So basically there's the 5, grid 5, we're saying that it's the plan view. Why isn't it displaying? And it comes back and it says, well, it's because the extents, the grid itself doesn't intersect the plane of that plan, which is, I think it's first floor, actually. I think, yeah. So the first floor level here. So in order to fix that, basically what we need to do is, let's close Ideate Quick Select here. We're going to come over to our elevation, and we can actually see that here's the extents. And I need to grab that and make sure that it intersects with the bottom plane of level 1. So I'm going to say, click it right there. Then I can go back to the grid, the 09, and sure enough, there's the 5. So that's kind of a tricky one because the grid itself didn't intersect in a different view, in an elevation view, with the plane of the, that level. And so that happens quite a bit with these grid markers and section markers and so forth. And that can be really hard to figure out why it's not displaying. All right, let's go do a couple more. Let's go here. This is always a really nice one. So let's say I'm going to go ahead and fit this view. Say zoom to fit. And, why isn't this basic wall interior displaying, right? So again, let's say try again. You get the method here. I'm going to go for my selection wizard. Search a small area in the target view. Say next. Select by crossing. Say here. And again, I want to sort by category. So I want to look at all the walls. And remember, the wall that I'm looking for is an interior wall that's not displaying because the exterior walls, the storefront, and this exterior wall is displaying. So basically, if I look at the walls here, I've got this interior, right? And that's, any one of the interiors is not displaying correctly. So I can say next, make sure that my view is again correct, and say find the element. And it's going to go through its search, and it says view filter. So this is really nice. Again, under the show me, I can look at the filters here, and I can say interior walls. And this is a new feature with Revit 2021. It allows you to untick that enable filter. So I can either turn the filter off in that particular view, or decide that I want to change the characteristics of that filter. So it's really nice to be able to interact that way. And I've got a couple other ones you see there with scope boxes and design options, but I think we're getting about to the end of the half hour. So you realize, or you understand, that the system works in a very similar way for each one of these specific conditions that I've set up. Let's go back to my presentation here. And I want to inform everyone that they can go to our website, www.ideatesoftware.com, and you can download a full function trial of Ideate apps. So it's a 14-day trial, and so you'll be able to test out Ideate XRay on your visibility issues very easily. And again, you can download for 2018 through 2021. So I would encourage you to do that if you're interested in Ideate XRay. And as I mentioned, you can find us online at www.ideatesoftware.com. As I said, there's a lot of help information that you can search. There's videos. We have a number of different videos on Ideate apps, not just Ideate XRay, but our entire collection. So I'd like to just stop here.
Thank you very much, Richard. That was amazing, as usual. Yeah, I've just sort of shared the last slide while we sort of wait for Q&A. So if you do need any more details, reach out to myself or Richard directly, or you can contact Exitech and your account manager. So yeah, let's see if we do have any questions. So I'm not sure whether I see anything my side. So Christella, do we have any questions that have come through for either myself or Richard?
I'll ask a question that comes up a lot. And that is one of we always get this in our presentations, is people ask us about the linked model, if we can actually find hidden elements within the link. And so we can specify, or we can say, if the entire link has been hidden by a particular, let's say the work set has been turned off, or someone turned the category off, that will, X-ray will show you that. But individual elements, like let's say you have an MEP file that has been linked into your architecture model and you want to know why a particular air handler is not displaying, that's something that we're not able to look at the individual elements. We would like to do that, but that API is not available through Autodesk. So we always mention that if people have that interest, to pester Autodesk to make that available for us, because we would like to include that. But that answer, or that question comes up a lot about linked elements within your Revit model.
I think all that's sort of left is to say thank you again, Richard, for joining us. I'm going to say goodbye to everyone. Stay safe out there, and I'll let Richard have the final say.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Appreciate you spending some time with us this afternoon. And as Jonathan said, please stay safe. And I hope you take an interest in Ideate software and have a look. If you're not a current customer, that you would go to the Ideate software website and download a trial copy. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.